Good morning. Good morning, family. Happy Tuesday. How are you? I hope you guys are off to a great start. I pray that your day is filled with nothing but productivity. I pray that you are full of joy. Joy meets you wherever you go. I pray that you invite wisdom into your life to guide you. And I just hope that it's going well for you in the name of Jesus. I just want to say this, people of God. Success is not hard, and it's what you define success in your life, because you're living your life for you. My idea of success for me may not be the same idea that you set up for success for yourself. But when you come together with like-minded people who motivate you, who inspire you, who have good energy, and they're not against you, they're for you, and they're working towards the same things, you're going to be able to bounce ideas off of each other. And sometimes you may even be able to work together sometimes, right? And what you define success for yourself, it's not difficult to obtain. You will learn in life, it's not difficult to obtain. Sometimes it's the obstacles and the hoops and the roadblocks we have to jump over while on that journey. And not sitting and knowing that you can't sit around and wait for anybody to give you anything. Nobody's going to come in front of our faces and say, here, let me give you success. If that happens, then maybe it's a miracle for you. God can do anything. But God gives us the strength, the ability, the wisdom, the courage, to go out into this earth and to create, to dominate, And so success is easy. Success is easy. You just got to keep going, keep putting one foot in front of the other and never give up. You see, believe in yourself and don't get fixated on other people's lives. Don't get fixated on comparing yourself with somebody else. What's worked for somebody else may not work for you. And not only that, you don't know the full ins and outs of other people's lives. The only thing you do know the full ins and outs of is your life and your walk. So keep walking strong. Get up and move. Anything worth having is worth fighting for. You can obtain anything you put your mind to. Just get up and keep going. Don't expect nobody to come and hand you nothing, And when people who are truly productive, who work for what they want, they can be working towards something that nobody knows about. They can be putting their hands to the plow day after day, month after month, year after year. When you begin to see what they have going on in their lives, you'll see that they have progress. They have obtained something. They are working towards something. They are continuously building something, right? And so sometimes you'll have people who don't make the best use of their time, and they get frustrated within themselves because they have not taken the opportunity to go for it. And I just want to motivate somebody. Get up and move. Go forward. You can do anything. You don't have to wait for nobody to tell you to go. You don't have to wait for nobody to, to hit the button and say, okay, now it's time to go. If you're waiting, you'll be probably waiting your whole life sometimes. Get up and do it. Even when you're nervous about something sometimes, get up and try it. Like my aunt always used to say, nothing beats a failure but a tryer, And you don't know if you're going to fail. You may be unsure about yourself, but if you try, then you will learn, wow, I didn't know I could do that. I remember when my transmission first went out in my truck. And for those of you that know anything about mechanic work, a transmission in a Ram 3500 is very, very heavy, extremely heavy, right? It's very heavy. It's well over 500 pounds. And so I had already lost faith in some of the dealerships because I had sued one of the dealerships because they lied to me and they messed something up on a brand new truck. And it just really, really had me, in a bad headspace. And so when I won my case, I started doing little things on my own. But when my transmission went out, I said, you know what? I don't know. I didn't know anyone that I could trust, they're reputable to go to. I knew of someone way out of town, but it would just been an inconvenience for me. And so I took it upon myself. I ordered a book with my the type of transmission I had. I ordered that book to succeed at this thing or fail at this thing, but I never would have known what I could do if I did not have the courage to try it, right? And so I ordered a book. I already had like different manuals, repair manuals for my specific vehicle to walk you through things. But I'm also like, I'll read stuff, but I'm also a visual and a kinesthetic learner. I learn from being able to apply it, like put my hands to the thing and just do it and seeing it, you know. And if I've got somebody there walking me through it, that's even better. That's like icing on a cake. But I've got to see it and touch it and try it. And that's how I learn. And then, so when I read the book, and I was nervous, because all of these thoughts will come to your mind. And let me tell you, when you are sitting still, all kind of things will come to your mind. Doubt will stay in your mind. You have to get up and move. That's why I'm always saying, you always hear me say 10 toes down, keep moving. And many of you say these things now, right? I started saying that some time ago when I created that t-shirt, and I see a lot of you have adopted. We're on board, 10 toes down, because you got to move, you know, you got to apply yourself. And so I read that book, and I was still nervous, but I went out, I positioned my truck, you know, to a place where I could get up under there, and I just started taking stuff apart, you know. And God sent me an angel who, at the time, I don't know where this person is now, but I think I had done something to help him, and so he returned the favor, and he was telling me about different things that he never worked on, you know, my type of truck, a diesel, but he knew about all of that stuff anyway, because he was a mechanic for so long. And while I was in the process of going through that, he was able to, all of that little anxiety I had, he would talk me through. We would talk on the phone and stuff like that, and he would tell me stuff, you know, oh, this is the torque converter. I normally loosen that first, that make it easier on you. I was like, wow, you know. And throughout that process, I was able to get that whole transmission out. It was heavy, right? And also, then it took a while for the replacement to come in, but I was able to put it back in. I had already went and I bought the best jack that I could find that could hold it. And the jack, I think it made it even easier because there were just knobs. Once I put my jack together, it was on wheels. And once I was able to get it onto the jack, that heavy thing, it was like knobs where you could just turn the knob and it would tilt it back or forward. You could turn another knob on the side, it would tilt it left or right. So it would like angle it for you. And this heavy, huge thing, there was no way that a human being could, well, maybe a big muscle bound person, but then it would still be hard for them to hold this heavy thing like that for so long, and, you know, being up under there like that, there's no way, you know. But I was able to do all of that. And when I told some of my colleagues, my friends, some of them who own the same truck and stuff like that, because I have a lot of male friends that, and I wouldn't really say, I use the word friend, but not like friend, like I guess associates, right? Colleagues. And so when I told them about my transmission, they wanted to know, where'd you take yours to? You know, I said, I did it myself. They could not believe it. They were like, what? You did it yourself? So they have this thing going on around, but oh, that girl right there, everybody knows my name. Oh, she can do this, she can do that. And sometimes some of them would call me to ask questions. And I also lost, well, I wouldn't really say lost, but there were some who I thought considered a friend, but I don't know what this thing is. Sometimes there's some men, not all, but I can speak on this, on my experiences. There's sometimes men who you consider, you may consider very admirable. You look up to them or you really like them like a good solid brother or sister. You know, no funny business going on. I mean, there's mutual respect. There's been some males who, as I continue to grow in certain strengths, and some of us have had the same type of trucks or whatever, some of them started to really act weird and funny, you know, around about me. And I would try to figure out what it was, you know, like, why is they acting funny, you know? And I had one friend, he would talk about, complain about some of the stuff he had to do with his truck and how he couldn't afford this and all these high bills. And I said, well, that's simple. If you could just, you know, they would listen to me, but then they would take what I say, go and do it, didn't have anything to do it, not even say, you know what, thank you, Sabrina, I really appreciate that you helped me through it. And I've had a lot of them do, but there's some that don't, and they act some type of way, and I didn't understand this type of behavior, and I'm like, I did nothing wrong, they've learned from me, but they're acting like they did it. And one of my elders, well, actually a few of my elders, male elders, they put me onto the mindset of that type of man and that type of energy. And so I learned to kind of stay away from those type of people, because there's a level of arrogance and there is a level of pride, and you will have sometimes, I've noticed where even some of my brothers, they have, they'll learn from you in secret and go and try to take something from you. And even speaking on this public thing, there's one brother, I said something, you guys, I've always said this in many of my videos a while back, and even now, sometimes we can feel like when it comes to discernment, we can discern things without having the words to put to it sometimes, right? There's a brother that kind of recreated that phrase and tried to put it out as it was his, but I knew he was watching me and learning from secret. Again, and I don't get upset when I see these things, but my elder kind of put me onto that type of arrogance and that type of pride, and not really men that feel some type of way about acknowledging and just respecting the strength in a woman. And it comes from a place of, he said, it's insecurity, because they feel like they should be doing that, so that's why they will steal it or copy you and then act like you ain't got nothing to do with it, because they feel like that's their place, which is a good thing. Like, you should learn how to do this, you're a king, right? But at the same time, when someone has helped you and you learn from someone, to discredit them or dishonor them because of their gender, that's not fair. And that's what a lot of strong women have to press through. Someone trying to, almost sometimes certain things to rob you of your individuality. It's like, then they criticize you, especially if you're single sometimes. And I know I'm going all in a different thing, but I'm going to keep on talking. Sometimes that happens because there are some people who feel like, they want to put you in a category or put you in a place. Your place should be this. Your place should be that. It's not my job as a human being to define the place of another human being. It's not my job as a human being to define the place of my brothers and my sisters. If I feel like we don't vibe, we just don't vibe. But at the same time, I'm not going to try to hurt you or make life hard for you because we don't vibe, we don't measure. I don't like your vibe, or something. Some of your strengths intimidate me, But anyway, let me get on off of that. All I want to say is, baby, success is what you define it for you. And anything worth having is worth fighting for. You can do anything. When I replaced that transmission in my truck, I didn't even know that I was capable of that. Was I nervous through the process? Very, very, very nervous. Because I'd never done anything like that before. And then not only that, this was several years ago, so it's like, this is I'm doing something on this big vehicle that I've never done before. What if this? What if I mess this up? What if I mess that up? And then I didn't have a bi-directional computer at the time. A bi-directional scanner computer means that you can not only just read the codes on a vehicle, but you can also send information and command that vehicle to do things. That is what most dealerships have. They have bi-directional scanners. When you go to a lot of these parts stores and stuff, sometimes you see those little small scanners that you plug up, those OBD2 scanners. They normally, they'll scan it and read codes, but it's not bi-directional. Bi-directional computers that are really good, they're a little more pricier. And you know how the scripture says all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. Well, I knew that it was meant for me to work on my own stuff, and God was pushing me in this area, and I kind of learned. The more I learn about things, I still don't know a lot, but I'm learning. As I run into problems, I try to troubleshoot my own problems, and that's how I have built skills over the years. And I believe that God was pushing me in this area because everything just became so, like, as I took a step, it's like he made the second step. As I took another step, he made the second step. So my type of transmission is called 68RFE. I've posted it on here. I've received emails from some guys as well who actually thank me for going into detail of how I service the transmission and everything like that. People appreciate knowledge, and so especially knowledge that saves them a lot of money in the times that we're in, because people don't really have money to be given out to people that just take advantage of them and people who are not going to do a job right. So if they can do it themselves, then that will not only save them money, but it will take a lot of pressure or stress off of them, because now they know the job is done right. But I needed a bi-directional computer because the type of transmission that I actually have is called 68RFE. And that transmission, anytime you go in to service it, it has 2 filters in it. Anytime you go in to service it, the normal servicing interval is around 60,000 miles for that specific transmission. Means like how we change our oil, around 3 to 10, 15,000 miles, for depending on what type of vehicle you have. I personally change my oil around sometimes 75, 100,000 miles, but now that this particular truck is getting older, I'm going to start changing the oil around 6,000 miles or so. But just like the oil has a change interval, meaning that oil is the life of it is dying, you need to change it. The transmission fluid also has a change interval. Now I've heard some people say, "Oh, don't touch the transmission, don't go in the transmission because blah blah blah." And so that kind of shied me away from servicing my first transmission, my original transmission that came on my truck, that died at 317,000 miles, which was good, but I think it would have lasted even longer if I had serviced it more, because I think it would have prolonged the life of it, right? And so just like the transmission the oil has a change interval, transmission fluid has a change interval. But whenever you go into the 68RFE transmission for anything, to replace a part or to service it, and you put it back together, add fluid, you need to do a trans relearn, what they call a trans relearn. And all that does is a computer that you connect your bi-directional computer to it, and it tells you, and I've done it on here before for transmission service or whatever, I've showed it, and it tells you put in overdrive, put in reverse. It takes you through the gears. You have to put the park brake on, put your foot on the brake, and what that does is, as it's shifting, the computer is programming the computer and the transmission, right? Because these are new sophisticated types of vehicles. So it's programming the computer and the transmission as you're shifting through gears. What it's doing is it's letting the computer and transmission know, between gears, I need this much fluid. Between this gear, I need that much fluid. Between that gear, I need this much fluid. And it doesn't even take it doesn't take 5 minutes. It doesn't. It's very, very quick. Doesn't even take 5 minutes. But if you were to go to a dealer, and if you put that type of transmission, you go to a dealer and you tell them, I need to do a relearn, they're going to charge you no less than $175 to $200 or more. It could be more than that now. So investing in your own computer would be good. And so back to what I was saying, I knew that God was pushing me in this area to do it myself, because everything was working out for my good. Like, I didn't have a bi-directional computer. I had regular OBD scanners, sophisticated OBD scanners, but not bi-directional. I didn't have a bi-directional scanner. And so wait a minute, did I pass that? I think, okay, I'm talking, but listen, I want to make sure that I stop at this place up here, so I don't know if I passed it already. But I didn't have a bi-directional scanner. And the scanner that I was looking at, which is what I've shared on here before, I think it was the Launch X431 Pro S. It's a very good bi-directional scanner. And the price of it was like $1,500, which is still not bad for all that it can do. and compared to some of the other scanners, and it could cover multiple vehicles. It could. So I emailed them to find out before I ordered it. It was like $1,500 or something. So I sent them an email. I said, I'm looking at the scanner I'm working on. I have a 68 RFE transmission that I'm going to replace, and I want to be able to do the trans relearn. That was really the only reason I was ordering the scanner, so that I could have everything that I needed. And they told me that it was capable of doing the trans relearn. And they said, if you order now, if you place an order now, would you like to have, I think they said 50% off or something like that. And I was like, what? And they was like, if you, whoever was emailing me, the young lady, she said, if you place an order, I can give you a coupon code where you can get the scanner for $800. And I was like, I sure will order right now. I was like, wow, you know, I remember I was sitting on my couch looking up the thing, and I was reading all that it could do, and it came with like 4 years of, I think 3 or 4 years of free updates, so you could update it, and then it came with a 5-year warranty. And so, women, this wasn't even, I don't think this was 5 years ago, so it even still has warranty. But I jumped on it. I said, yeah, send me the coupon code and I'll order right now. And she says, if you, I think she said, we'll give you 50% off, or if you do a review or something like that, we'll send you a free printer to go along with it. And I was like, wow. And so I bought the scanner for what should have been like $1,500 or so. It was only like $800. So that was another blessing. And I'm like, wow. So I ordered that. Once I got my transmission and everything, I did the relearn on it. It was so simple, and it gave me a sense of, how can I say it, joy. And it was like, wow, I had accomplished something that most people, especially women, you know, is shocking. And it reminded me of, that's why I'm so fond of Sojourner Truth's story. I get a lot of inspiration from people like Sojourner Truth, Harriet Tubman, you know, Septima Poinsett Clark, who has a school right down in Johns Island, South Carolina. You know, I get inspiration from women like that, and I can only imagine what they had to have gone through, not just being a woman and dealing with males, but just during that time it was a lot of segregation, you know, a lot of racial injustices, and they pressed through that. And because of them, I am, you know. And I draw inspiration from Harriet Tubman. You know, there were even some males, when she went on that journey, some of them became nervous and afraid and wanted to say, we can't go across that water. We need to turn back, you know. And she continued to go. She trusted her God. She trusted her God. And those men had to give her respect, you know, because she was actually, God was using her to help them. But they were challenging her, you see. And so anyway, people of God, here's my stop. I actually did not pass it. That's all I wanted to say. You can do anything you put your mind to. We can. But you got to get up and you got to move. You got to keep going. When life throws, how everybody say that thing? When life throws lemons at you, make lemonade. It's getting lighter and lighter now, baby. Make some lemonade, baby, and keep on going. And take a sip while you ready to. Have a blessed day. If nobody has told you that they love you, then you already know. Your little country bumpkin loves you. We are the light of the world. Let's don't never let our lights grow dark, baby. Let's keep shining bright. And we know that the blood of Jesus Yeshua, our friend, our brother, our Savior, that blood is the only blood that has power. Go get up and move.